Recording. There we go. We're rolling.
Do you know what's funny? We are recording. I don't know if the recording is going to show you the whole time. No. Because you see me. Are we on the gallery view? Okay, cool. Don't put me on speaker view. It's too much of my face. Keep it on gallery view. Happy Wednesday night, you guys. This is Ellen, and this is Team Play Hard's weekly team call that we do. And we just did a really quick switcheroo and changed up the time. So thank you, those of you that could in 15 minutes notice, you were able to hop on. For the rest of you guys, thank you so much for dialing into the replay. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you guys about something that we've talked a little bit about in the past before, but I want to drill it in tonight in a different way, apply it to the business, and I hope you guys have pen and paper and can write down some notes about yourself tonight. The topic is going to be eliminating negative self-talk. It's something we have talked a lot about before. In fact, Jake led a team call about affirmations, which is kind of, in a way, the same kind of thing. So I want to give credit to where the inspiration from this podcast, this team call was from the Bob Heilig podcast. I say Brian Heilig always when I talk about Bob Heilig, because I went to school with this guy named Brian Heilig, and he's a good friend of mine, and he's also a network marketer. And he's actually in our team page. So I always call Bob Heilig, the podcaster, Brian. So unconsciously, negative self-talk impacts your life. Let me say that better. Let me say that best. Negative self-talk has a direct impact on your life and on your business. And it's something that that happens unconsciously. And so tonight, I want to bring it to the forefront and bring a conscious awareness to not just the idea and the vague theme of negative self-talk, but actually your specific and my specific negative self-talk, and that directly bears upon our business. So you'll see why this quote fits in when I get a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of the call. But Bob Heilig quoted Churchill and said, "The price of greatness is responsibility." And the reason that fits the theme is because we are going to take responsibility for our self-talk. You guys have heard before this notion of our thoughts become our reality. So do we still have Kelly and Mark on? And did Heather or Kim come on? So, okay, we have Kelly and Mark on and Jake. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have heard that before, that our thoughts become our reality. What do you believe that to mean? Or how true do you guys think that is? You guys will have to
unmute. I guess I will. Yeah, I think it's super true, obviously, for both the positive and the negative, and that's the key. I guess, limiting the negative, increasing the positive.
Totally. I think Kelly said she was getting ready too, so I don't know if she can.
I think we'd all say the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like in the Bible, where your heart is, your treasure is where your heart is. It's the same thing, wherever your thoughts are. That's, biblically speaking, it sounds better, but whatever you're creating your own reality. That's what it is your thoughts are your reality.
Totally. And I actually thought about that affirmations call that Jake led, and I don't know if he shared this on the call. He might have shared this with me privately after the call, and I'm just going to hope that he's okay with me sharing it here. But I remember that he said remember he had one of his affirmations was money flows to me or money comes to me, something like that. And he said, again, it was either privately or on our team call, that he had some one or two incredibly generous tippers that when he started doing that. So Yeah. So what Bob Heilig said specifically is that our thoughts shape our attitude, and our attitude shapes our actions. So I know we know this, but let's take a deeper look at it tonight. Our thoughts shape our attitudes. Our attitudes determine our actions. So that's how our thoughts become our reality. That's how. And so often when we're not even conscious, we're not even aware of it. So if 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 you are negative, which nobody is on our team, right? But if you are a negative person, you've created that reality for yourself. So can you guys all think of, and don't name any names, but I'm sure you guys can all think of someone in your life that you would consider to be a negative person. They created that world for themselves based on their thought life. Their thoughts, then their attitudes, and then their actions. So tonight I want to talk about how our business works just the same way. Did any of you guys hear the podcast that I'm talking about? By any chance? No? Okay. So basically, if we in our business focus on how hard it is to blank, fill in the blank, I'm going to say prospect new coaches. If we focus on if we think about, it's our thoughts, if we think about how hard it is to prospect new coaches, it's going to be hard to prospect new coaches. If we think about how hard it is to hit Success Club these days, then it's going to be hard for us to hit Success Club these days. If we think about how hard it is going to be to go to Coach Summit, it's going to be hard to go to Coach Summit. You fill in the blank. If we think it's going to be hard to sell a challenge pack, that will become our reality. It will be hard to sell a challenge pack. So, all right. So, step one, according to Bob Heilig, is to become aware. Because remember, this stuff is happening. These thoughts are happening at an unconscious level. So step number one is just to become aware of what those thoughts are that you're thinking, and that your thoughts actually don't rule they don't have to rule and be a reality. You can. Remember the Churchill quote about taking responsibility? It was actually, the quote was, the price of greatness is responsibility. The price of greatness, if you want to be a great leader, if you want to be a great person, you have to take responsibility. So we have to take responsibility for the thoughts that we're having, which become aware of them. Step one. Step two, take responsibility. So one thing he said that I loved is, like, if you go buy a brand new red car, all you notice is cars. And I remember when I was in high school, I had a Jeep CJ7. It was the coolest car I've ever had. And I remember that once I bought that Jeep, I saw Jeeps everywhere. And I don't know if you guys know Jeep culture, but everybody waves. Everybody waves at every Jeep on the road. And like, I felt like the roads were covered in Jeeps after I bought my Jeep. And so that's just an example. There weren't any more Jeeps on the road, or in his analogy, red cars on the road. They didn't increase the number of red cars on the road or the number of Jeeps on the road, but I just became aware of them. It brought my attention to them. So similarly, our thoughts, when we think about something, we're giving it energy and attention. And I'll draw that point out further in just a second. He also said that we are naturally conditioned to the negative. We hear more no's than yeses every single day. And I thought about it when he was talking about how we're conditioned to the negativity. In the gym where I work, I would say 20 people will complain, 10 to 20. I'll hear 10 to 20 complaints at the gym about an instructor, about the equipment, about the temperature of the pool, whatever, how the front desk treated them. 10 to 20 complaints for every one compliment I hear about, like, oh, that instructor did such a great job on Saturday, or wow, the pool is so clean. Like you eat, but you know what? There are so many people that are loving classes and loving all the things, but we're hearing the negative. It's how we're conditioned today. So we are steeped in negativity. And he likened it, and I loved this, to a garden. Basically, your thought life that controls our life, our thought life that controls our life, is like a garden. And what does a garden do if left unattended? It gets covered in weeds. The only way a garden is beautiful and is productive and grows and flourishes is if someone is pulling the weeds and someone is watering the flowers or the fruit or vegetables or whatever. So the weeds are these negative self-talk thoughts, these negative thoughts, and the flowers or the vegetables or the fruit is our flowers. We water our dreams, and we pluck out the negativity. And if we don't take responsibility for that, and if we don't do that in our lives, but also in this business, is why we're on the team call together tonight. If we're not doing that in our business garden is going to wither and dry and die and get choked out. The fruit will get choked out by the weeds. Another example is Bangle cats. So when I got my Bangles, I thought I was like the only person in the world. And now I see Bangle cats everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people in my life have them or know someone who has them. And I'm sure they always did. That was always the case. I just wasn't aware of it until I got my Bangles. So that's why I want to talk about the final the activity I have for you. If you don't have pen and paper, then you can just make a conscious effort. I hope you do, but if you don't have pen and paper, and I can't see you guys on my phone, but here's my example as far as the Bengal cats and the Jeep car and the red cars. If we tell ourselves that we're unworthy of success or of a rank or of an income level or on a personal level, like of being loved, of whatever, of being a great parent, whatever it is, if that is our unconscious thought, we start to see that thought repeated everywhere. So we see evidence, just like I see the Bengal cats everywhere all of a sudden, and the Jeeps when I was in high school everywhere. We see evidence of that unworthiness everywhere. We're like, see, there it is again. Like, I'm not good at this. There it is again. I got another no. I guess I'm really not good at selling challenge packs. I guess I'm really not a good coach. And so I want you guys to write down some of the negative thoughts that you have about the business. So I actually gave some in our example of just like some of my own. But I want to give you guys a couple minutes to write down negative thoughts that you are aware that you have. Maybe you're unaware, but part of our step one is becoming aware. What are some of the negative thoughts you have directly related to your ability to coach, build a team, earn money with this opportunity? What are they? Let's write them down. Okay, does anyone want to share any one of their negative thoughts that they have about themselves related to the business? Anyone? I can go.
I can share mine.
Yeah. What is it, Jake?
I actually have two that I wrote down. One of them is that I have a limiting belief that I'm possibly not a strong enough leader to create a successful team, strong team. And then the other one is a limiting belief. And I usually push this one to the side, but it pops up from time to time that our market is super saturated. Yeah, so those definitely hold me back. Just giving those power by believing them.
Totally. I actually put down your first one too. For me, I put down, I do have thoughts about I'm not a good enough leader. I even specific to the team call, like lately, and of course tonight I threw you an audible and we're coming in at a funky time and I gave you 15 minutes notice. So I'm not talking about tonight, but just the last like month or two since we changed nights, even our team call attendance has been down a little bit. And so I am taking that and telling my negative self-talk is like, you're boring. You don't have anything important to say. You're not a good leader. Like those thoughts. And so so the point of this exercise is, and this is how we'll end the team call. It'll take about 5 more minutes tops. The point of that is to take some of these negative thoughts, like Jake just shared. Some of mine also are like, not that I don't have enough time, that kind of thing. But like the example I just gave about the team call is actually a really good one, because what I'm bent to do, like, because it's natural to be negative, it's natural to have the weeds. What I'm bent to do is to be self-critical and full of self-doubt, and to keep seeing evidence of that. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm not seeing very many people on the team page either. See, it's true. See, it's true. And, but what I need to do is, and he actually said, like, imagine a tiny you being a guardian of your thoughts, of your brain. And I imagine those little Bitmoji stickers that we have, that we text back and forth, those little Bitmoji stickers, you know, where it looks like you. It's like a little animated you. I imagined my little animated me, like, at my brain doing this exercise when I was listening to the podcast. Like, okay, what I need to say when there's 7 people on a team call instead of 25 is not, I'm not a good leader. Nobody's interested. I don't have anything important to say. I'm boring. Is like, I have consistently led a team call for 4 years. And I am relentless in that commitment. And I got to share 30 minutes of my night with 7 people that I love and respect, and I'm honored to be able to work with in this industry. Like that kind of thing, which is also so true. So that's an example of flipping it and doing the 2 action steps tonight, which are first, become aware. Like, first acknowledge that I'm doing that. And Jake the same with his examples. First, acknowledging that those are limiting beliefs. And then second, combating them, plucking the weeds, getting them out. Like, I had you write them on paper because I want you to, like, you would never talk to another human being the way you talk to yourself. Like, you would never be critical of someone else as critical as we are to ourselves. So I'm hoping that we can rid ourselves as a team, starting now. And I know it's a process, and some of us have already been on this journey, but and starting to rewrite the script. So to conclude our team call, but I still want you to stay on so we can share at the very end of this. I want you guys to write down evidence of your talents and what you are awesome at and what you know to be true of yourself about this business. You can use the example I just gave of the team call. I think it's a good one. Okay, so take 2 minutes and write down some of your greatest talents and attributes. So funny that my phone says there's 14 people on. That's fine. All right. So did anyone want to share any of their talents? Come on. Someone share. Are Mark and Kelly still on, or is it just us, Jake?
No, they're still on. Okay, I can share. I have a list of 4 things that I think are. Oh, there you go, Kelly.
Uh-oh.
You're muted, but I think you just said I just got out of the shower.
Who, Mark?
No, Kelly.
Mark's. Oh, Kelly's naked.
I'm not. I'm in my robe. But I did just dry my hair.
Okay. Figured something like that was going on.
And Mark texted. I saw his chat that he's cooking. All right, Jake. Give us a couple of yours.
So I just wrote down 4, just literally 4 words that I feel represent me well. I think I'm funny. I don't know if everybody else does, but I think I'm funny. I'm empathetic. I'm honest, and I'm protective.
Awesome. That's perfect. So our goal tonight is moving forward to seek evidence of those things, to seek evidence of being funny, of being empathetic, so that instead of giving credibility to those weeds, we're giving water to those dreams. Another example that Bob Hiley gave as I wrap up is like a lot of people, when they first finally have the courage to do a Facebook Live, it's usually really bad, and they watch it back and they're like, I'm awful. Like, that was horrible. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not good at it. And the truth is, like, everyone's first Facebook Live is bad. And that those thoughts can actually cripple them from ever going forward and doing it. So I liked that. Instead of like, I was courageous and I tried something new and I was vulnerable and those types of things. So small wins are the key to success in life and in our business. Small wins, and this has such a huge bearing on our small wins. My closing quote is that, and my favorite quote of the day is that gratitude is the gateway drug to motivation. Gratitude is the gateway drug to motivation, because when, like, okay, so my team call example, it's not motivating when I'm in my weeds and I'm like, I'm a sucky leader and people aren't interested in coming to the team call and I'm not providing good content. When I'm doing the weeds, instead of coming from, like, when I flipped it and I was like, I'm consistent, I don't miss. Like, even when I'm in Portland and there's an emergency, I'm gonna show up. And I've been on, and like, I'm so blessed to be able to share a little bit of time with the people that are coming on, which is you 3 tonight. That is stirring up and rousing my gratitude. And what that does is motivate me so much more to keep doing it. So much more. So that's all I've got for you guys tonight. I feel like it's a little bit redundant. Like, Jake did his affirmations one, which you guys need to listen to if you haven't. It was one of our greatest team calls. So he dives into how to write out and how to speak them and what they should look like, present tense and all these things. So I recommend that team call as an adjunct to this one. And thanks you guys for coming on the fly. And that's all I got. Now it says there's 15 people on. All right, guys, that's it. Jake, will you post the recording or send it to me? Either one. Cool. Cool. Okay, Mark, Kelly, Jake.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.